A vacation that changed my life. My name is Samir, and I am 19 years old. After my high school final exams, my vacation had begun. I wanted permission from my parents to visit my uncle's house. My uncle had been married for only 15 days, which is why my parents initially refused to let me go. But it had been years since I'd last visited my uncle, and I couldn't attend his wedding because of my exams. This time, I was excited to meet him and my new aunt. My father told me to visit later, but I insisted on spending my holidays at my uncle's house in the city. Looking back, I sometimes wish I hadn't gone, because what happened there changed my life forever. It was a Sunday when my father dropped me off at my uncle's house. When we arrived, the house was locked. We assumed my uncle and aunt had gone out. When my father called, we learned they were shopping at the market and would be late. We waited outside for nearly 2 hours before they returned. Once they arrived, my father handed me over to them and left. My aunt wore a mask, sitting behind my uncle on his bike. When we entered the house, she removed it, and my eyes locked onto her face. She looked like a movie heroine, stunningly beautiful, while my uncle was ordinary in comparison. I couldn't stop staring until my uncle snapped, "Hey, Samir! What are you looking at? I've been calling you!" Startled, I hugged him, pretending everything was fine. My aunt hugged me too, and it felt oddly familiar, as if we'd known each other for years. For the first 2 days, everything was perfect. My aunt took great care of me, and I thought I'd enjoy my entire vacation there. But I had no idea what was coming. On the third morning, I woke up to find my uncle packing his bags. "Mama, where are you going?" I asked. "I have urgent work abroad for 2 months," he replied. I protested, but he insisted it was a career opportunity he couldn't miss. Reluctantly, I agreed. Before leaving, he said, "Samir, it's your responsibility to take care of your aunt while I'm gone. She's afraid of the dark, so help her with whatever she needs, whatever it is." At the time, I didn't understand the weight of his words. After my uncle left, my aunt and I were alone. That night, while I was watching TV, she suggested we go out for ice cream. On the scooter, my hand accidentally brushed her waist. I pulled back, but she took my hand and placed it there herself. Confused, I stayed silent. When we returned, the power suddenly went out. In the darkness, my aunt hugged me tightly. I froze. I'd never been so close to a woman before. The lights came back on after 5 minutes, and she shyly apologized before retreating to her room. That night I couldn't sleep. Her face haunted my thoughts. The next morning, she acted normal, but tension lingered. Later, when I went to ask her about making pakoras, I found her room door slightly open. She was sitting on the bed, absorbed in something on her phone. When I peeked, I was shocked. She was watching something inappropriate. Embarrassed, I called her name. She jumped, startled, and asked what I wanted. I made an excuse and left, but the image stayed with me. That night, during a storm, the power went out again. My aunt called for me, and when I entered her room, she clung to me, begging me to stay. We talked for hours, and she confessed she'd married my uncle after a whirlwind romance. Eventually, she asked me to sleep in her room. I agreed. The next morning, I felt a strange mix of guilt and happiness. My aunt seemed unusually cheerful. Over the next few days, she grew bolder, always finding excuses to touch me or keep me close. One night, she gave me milk, and I fell asleep almost instantly. Soon, I started feeling weak and nauseous. My stomach ached constantly. When I told my father I wanted to come home, my aunt refused, reminding me of my uncle's words, "You must take care of me." 15 days after my uncle left, the doorbell rang at 7 p.m. My aunt was asleep beside me. When she opened the door, the police stormed in. My father and uncle stood behind them. "Mama, you were supposed to be abroad," I exclaimed. My father explained. "When I dropped you off, I checked with the police. Your uncle changed his name and married a woman involved in criminal activities. They've been drugging and exploiting people." Suddenly, everything made sense. The milk, my weakness, my aunt's behavior. They had been using me. I realized how naive I'd been. My uncle's sudden wealth, my aunt's advances, it was all a scheme. My father's vigilance saved me. This experience taught me a harsh lesson: not all relationships are genuine. Some people only care about their own interests. The shocking truth. As the police handcuffed my uncle and aunt, my legs trembled. I couldn't believe the man I'd looked up to my entire life was a criminal. My father held my shoulder tightly, his face grim. "They've been running a scam for years," one officer explained. "Your uncle would marry vulnerable women, drug them, and steal their wealth. This time, they targeted you." I felt sick. The milk my aunt gave me, it wasn't just to make me sleep. It was laced with something addictive, something that made me weak and obedient. The aftermath. Back home, I was a wreck. Nightmares of my aunt's touch, the lies, the betrayal, it all haunted me. Doctors confirmed I'd been drugged, and rehab was necessary to flush the toxins from my body. My uncle's trial was swift. Evidence showed he had multiple fake identities and had scammed several women before. My aunt? She wasn't even his real wife, just another accomplice. The lesson? I learned that evil doesn't always look monstrous. Sometimes it wears the face of someone you trust. My uncle's greed destroyed our family's respect in the community. But worse, it destroyed my faith in people. Yet my father's quick thinking saved me. "Always verify, Samir," he told me. "Even family can hide darkness." Moving forward. Months later, I still flinch at sudden touches. I avoid relationships, afraid of being deceived again. But I'm healing. This wasn't just a vacation gone wrong. It was a brutal awakening. If you were in my place, what would you have done? Let me know in the comments. And if this story shocked you, share it, so others stay alert.